Yeah, I wanted to start with you first. Your graphic novel came out 15 years ago, and at the time, the industry wasn't open to Asian American stories. And you and everybody involved are the first to acknowledge that the series is standing on the shoulders of projects like Crazy Rich Asian
Oh,
and Fresh Off
absolutely.
the Boat, which is very serendipitous to many of the themes within this narrative. And first, could you ever imagine the journey that you would be on with American-born Chinese? And as you get ready to introduce the story to a new generation of audiences, have you had time to reflect on your own contributions and continuing us on this path?
I haven't had a lot of time lately, to be honest. But it's been really incredible. It's been absolutely incredible. I feel like every part of my career I've been standing on other people's shoulders. So as a cartoonist, I feel like I stood on the shoulders of cartoonists like Art Spiegelman and Craig Thompson, who really opened uh, a space in people's minds for the literary graphic novel.
Mm.
And then in terms of media, we are absolutely standing on the shoulders of Crazy Rich Asians, and even before Crazy Rich Asians, where there was like Anime Wong, there's James Hong. We're standing on their shoulders to get this done. So it's
Yeah,
absolutely astounding that we're here.
yeah, that's
And
right.
Melvin, similarly throughout your career, you've played such an integral role in helping bring these much needed stories to the forefront. And you've been there when conversations about diversity and inclusion were less prevalent. As the series has made its way to D23, South by Southwest, and the New York premiere, what is it like getting to see the response that it's having with audiences? And why do you think it's taken us so long to get here?
I think don't look at it why it's taken so long. I think look at it at we're here, and there's a reason why we're here because, like Gene said, we're all standing on shoulders of somebody else. For me personally, it's the Joy Luck Club and Janet Yang.
Mm,
Like she's the queen, and she was doing it way before I even thought that I wanted to be in this industry, and she was one of the pioneers, and I think because of that, like we're all standing on each other's shoulders. There's such like a dearth of like Asian American storytellers these days, both behind and in front of the camera, that what's happening now is not a surprise. It just takes a minute for everybody to sort of align and get into a place
mm,
where they can do something about it. And with all these storytellers, this is what you're seeing. This is, like Gene says, you're seeing sort of the beginnings of a Asian American Renaissance. It's still very in its infant stage, but like we got to keep going.
yeah.
And I think that's the exciting part of it.
Beautifully said. And Gene, when you're creating a graphic novel, it's often just you at a drawing table, but in bringing this story to life for television, it's about a collaboration with everybody involved. What was that process like working with this cast and crew, and how did their life experiences bring new elements to these characters and this narrative?
Yeah, I think that's exactly right. I think a comic, I mean, one of the things that attracted me to it is that even though it's a lot of work, it's still manageable enough for a single person to work on it. So the graphic novel American Born Chinese is very much a me story. It comes out of me. It comes out of my experiences. I did all of the work except for the colorist, except for the coloring, which was handled by this very talented colorist named Lark Pian. But um, television is so labor intensive. You need an entire team.
Mm,
So it becomes you move something from being a me story to a we story, where you need a giant team of people to do it. And I think what Melvin did with his team that he assembled was he kind of got Kelvin Yu, who's the showrunner, to spearhead it, to lead this team, and to create a space where everybody can pour a bit of themselves, a piece of themselves into the project. And you can see that up and down. You can see that in the costumes that our costume designer Joy Cretton created, the sets that Michelle Yu and Cindy Chow, our set designers, created. Each of them put something very, very personal into what they were
mm,
doing.
yeah. Well, the final question for you. You've wanted to bring this story to life on the screen for such a long time. How did you finally convince Gene to make it into a television series? And what was it about his work that resonated with you?
I mean, that his graphic novel is unbelievable. It just completely stuck with me for so long, and I don't know what I said. Maybe it was just to me, it was just like a bunch of conversations that just sort of I would like to think resonated with us both, and
Mhm.
when we first started talking about this, it was the two of us. Then we added Kelvin, and eventually Dustin. And I've always said that it didn't feel like work. like we were developing a show or anything. It just felt like we had an amazing time chatting about life and experiences and how we find ourselves where we are, you know.
Mhm.
And it was a little bit like Asian guy therapy, and I think that was the beginning of just the nucleus and how you can, you know, come up with a great show.